Welcome back. This is PowerPoint Module 2, Video 2, and this is where we left off. Sorry, the last video got cut off because I lost track of time, but we were typing the title on the slide. So what you're going to add to the title is scenes from last year, and then there's just a few pictures on this slide from last year's fundraising dinner. Once you have that, go ahead and move yourself to the blank slide 5. And if the layout isn't blank on slide 5 for you, go ahead and change the layout to where it's just a blank slide. And what we're going to do here is, well, there's a couple of ways that we can do this actually. Instead of doing a blank slide, although that works as well, let's do a title and content slide. And go ahead and click in the, where it says click to add text, that text box. We are going to add a video file or a movie to this slide. So yes, I can just go to the Insert tab and insert the movie this way. But the other way that, like, you can just insert the video using the video section. If you have the file saved on your computer, which hopefully you should. If not, you need to pause the video, go into Canvas, and save the movie file from PowerPoint Module 2. But another way that you can do that is there's a shortcut in the icons here where you can click the movie reel and it opens up the insert video as well. So then once you click that, go on out to where you've saved the writing. It's called the writing support file. Hopefully you've saved that maybe in your flash drive or on the desktop of this computer. If not, if you don't have this file, you need to go download it from our Canvas course. Once you have it, then you can insert it. So I'm going to click it and say insert, and it's going to insert a video now into my slide. And I don't need a title on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete that title placeholder. And you can resize the video by using the video format contextual tab that's at the top. So you can change the height and the width to whatever. I mean, if you want to make it 6.5, you can kind of play around with it. And then you can drag it. It's almost like it's just like any other object. You can drag it on the screen. If you want it to take up most of your screen, change it to 7.5. And then you can kind of see that that's about the same size as the background, as the slide. So you can do that as well. So you can play around and decide kind of what works best for you or what you think looks best. But again, it's just like any other picture where you can change the settings, the video styles here, lots of different things that you can do. Playback options, which we're going to get to here in just a second, where you can change like the volume of your video if you wanted it to be a little bit quieter, a little bit louder, if you wanted it to play full screen, loop when it's stopped. So that means that it will loop back to the beginning and then play again of the video. You can rewind after playing. So when you click rewind after playing, it's not going to replay it, but it'll take it back to the beginning. So it'll rewind it to the beginning and then stop there. So lots of different options here on how you can format your video on the playback section. You can also trim the video. So if you don't want, you can trim off from the beginning or the end of the video. Now this isn't like fancy video editing software here, but it does allow you to do some really some basic editing. So on the playback tab, if you select trim video, it pops open this video editing window, and you can trim off of the beginning or the end of your video by just dragging these colored bars. So I'm going to drag the red bar in till it trims it to about 8.6. And if you can't get it right at 8.60, what you can do is you can type in this box right here. So I can just change that to 1.6 and then say okay, and it trimmed off about a second at the end of my video. You can also set the poster frame, and what the poster frame is, it's what is going to show on your slide before you play the video. So what is it going to look like? Do I want it to look like this guy's neck? That looks a little strange. I don't necessarily know if that's what I want to show up on my slide before I hit play to show my audience the video. So you can set the poster frame to any part of the video. So what the book is asking us to do, it's asking us to click at about, on the playback bar down here at the bottom, click at about 7.9. And you will see it adds a different view into our poster view. So this is what the video is showing us. It's a person writing these words like kind of transparently on a screen. So all we need is what's going to show on the screen instead of just that guy's blank neck, which I think looks a little bit better. So you just click on the playback bar down here at the bottom at whatever mark in the video you want to pin, so to speak, as your poster screen, poster frame, whatever you want to call it. So that's what I did. I clicked at the 7.92 and it showed this is the point in the video at 7.92, what's showing, and that's going to freeze on my screen until I play the video. It's also asking us to make sure that we rewind the video after playing. So I'm going to put a check mark next to that. And I think that that's all it asks us to do. But there's lots of different options here that you can do in the playback options tab up at the top. All right, so now let's go ahead and move down to slide number 6. And on slide 6, it's just asking us to delete that text box. And instead of putting a text box there, we're going to insert an arrow shape. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab. I'm going to go to Shapes. I'm just going to grab a right pointing block arrow, and I'm just going to insert it pretty largely in the place of where that text box was. And then if you just double click inside of your shape, it will add a cursor, kind of like a text box, and you can add text inside the shape. So what we're going to do now is we are going to say, we need your help, or something like that. I don't exactly know what the book asks to say because I put my book down, but you get the idea. I'm going to increase my font size. And this is just trial and error here. So I am just increasing my font size by exponentially here until I feel like it kind of fits the size in the arrow, kind of fills up the arrow. And again, with anything, just like anything else, you can format the shape of your arrow, changing the fill color, changing the outline color. So if I wanted my outline to be like a red, and so it actually shows up, I'm going to change the weight, because just a single red line is pretty thin and it's hard to tell the contrasting on the orange. But if you change the weight of the outline to make it a little bit thicker, then you can see it a little bit better. You can change the fill color to kind of match your PowerPoint background theme, which is like the light blue themes and the dark blue themes and that kind of thing as well. Okay, so this now concludes all of the information from PowerPoint Module 2. If you would like to play, let's just go ahead and play it from the beginning so we can see our full slideshow. I didn't set it automatically, so I'm going to have to click through my slideshow, which I prefer to do that because it allows me to talk about each slide at my own pace, whereas if I automatically run my show, then it doesn't. Sometimes it'll go before I'm ready for it to go. All right, so here's the slide that we animated. The table that we created. You could animate anything on this slide. I try not to over animate. Here's our video. And again, this video is more of there's not any words to it. It's not like one of those types of movie videos. It's just like that. And then it rewinded it back to the beginning. And then, sorry, I accidentally hit play again. And then the next slide is sign up today. So after looking at this, I decided that my video is too large for that slide. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit smaller here. And then I'm going to kind of mess around here just a little bit to see if I like the way that it looks. Sometimes I just don't love when it's taking up the full screen because it just is too big. Like it's just taking up too much space. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I feel like when we play this from this location, it will be a little bit not so large. Yep, I like that better. All right, make sure that when you're finished, you do a file save as if you haven't saved this presentation yet, or if you've already saved the presentation, just hit save as you go so that way it will save all of your changes. Thank you.